CMPRadio.net. It's the station. CMPRadio.net, the voice of Chester.
Sports 360, Dave Burman here. Good Monday night, the 24th of April, 2023, here at the CMP Radio Studios, 5th Street, right across the street from the legendary, historic Chester Post Office. Titus Robinson, special guest here tonight. He's a star. He's big time. I'm excited. I finally met him in person. And Titus graduated from Chester High back in 2000, hard to believe, 23 years ago. And he is working with the Chester Upland Youth Soccer Program, Chester Upland Eddystone. Titus, thanks a lot for joining me on the show, man. So tell us your story. How long, let's talk about your career. You moved, you said, to Chester when you were...
Sixth grade.
Where'd you live before?
So I was from Chichester, Linwood.
Oh, you're right down the street.
Right down the street. But for me, that was a complete 360 in lifestyle or life changes.
That much of a change?
Yeah, it was completely different. Because I mean, I grew up in a neighborhood where it was just predominantly all white. My school was all white. I was the only black kid in the whole situation. So.
Chichester?
Yeah, right. I went to Linwood Elementary.
Linwood? Okay, so you got
right near the post office, right near what you would call Seafood Connection, right up the street from there.
Yeah, we had our Delaware County Sports Induction Hall of Fame this past Sunday night, last night, actually, and it was at the Phoenix Ballroom right next to Billy White Shoes, Chichester, and John Mobley. You know about their history of the Chichester football field. So, yeah, beautiful area, and Chester. It was beautiful back in the day. There's still some beautiful parts. This building we're in is spectacular. It just needs continued improvement. And we always say we got to start it now. And I'm an old head, 65. Yeah. All right, so you moved, and then tell me more about the story. Titus Robinson.
So I moved to Chester, and then right from there I embraced the pride of Chester, like just understanding what kind of how much pride it is that they have as far as being even a small city. And then right from there I just automatically ingratiated myself into the sports that were available to me. So right from there, by the time I got into my second year at middle school, I went and started playing football over at Smedley when Smedley was still open. And then I played basketball the next year. And then after that, once I got to high school, there was more sports available. So then that's when everything started taking off.
Right. Did you play football in high school football for Chester?
High school football for Chester High. I played quarterback freshman year and my senior year. I played, also I ran track for Chester High.
I'm blank on the coach. And, I have a history. I can't think who your coach was for football.
Charles Cole.
Oh, Chuck Coles. There you go. All right, Chuck was there.
He was my coach. And when I was a freshman, I believe Coach Logan was the quarterback coach. So that's when I first got out of there. And then I didn't play anymore for a couple of years, mainly because I had other options. And I just wanted to try as many sports as possible. Basketball was one of the main things I wanted to try. Tried that for freshman and sophomore year. Realized that how much competition and how competitive it was. And I was like, you know what?
The Jameer era.
Yeah, so I was So I played 8th grade with Jameer when we played at Smedley, and we went undefeated, 15-0 over at Smedley.
Nice.
It was awesome. And then I had never seen him, never knew who he was at first, and then seeing his evolution from that year to freshman year in high school. I was a freshman on the freshman team. He was already on the JV team as a freshman.
Freshman, yeah.
And then right from after his freshman year, he went to varsity, and then I was like,
I know the history there. Jameer, his freshman year was 1996, 97. And then he didn't play that year, but 97, 98, 98, 99, 2000, PIAA state champs, beat Uniontown. I was there, drove up. I was a radio announcer in Virginia at the time, drove up, had to watch that. Yeah. And they had Yankuba Kamara. They got him in.
That was my best friend. Like I was real good with the team. I was actually most school spirited that year. So in the yearbook, once the yearbook came out, I was because I was always at everything. Right. Whether it be basketball games, baseball games, football games, track meets, anything that was happening with sports. I just wanted to support the Chester programs. What
a run Jameer had, you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, and 96, 97, they had that was the year. 96 was the year we lost to Kobe twice in the states. A District 1 championship in the state semis in 97, Jameer's freshman year. You were playing with him.
I played that freshman year, but he wasn't. He was already on the JV team when I got there. So I was on the freshman team, and that team was stacked too.
Unbelievable. So. Oh, yeah. They had, you know, you had Naeem Scott, Lateef Watts, Strickland, and, you know, all these guys.
Those guys are good friends.
Now, did Chester have soccer back then?
No. So that was a thing that made me really jump into soccer as we get into the soccer conversation. There was no such thing as soccer when I was at Chester High at all.
Back in the day, there was.
So I did my research, and it was like 30 years ago, actually, that he said that there was soccer
in the 90s.
Right. So from there, I started learning a little bit more about that, and you know, there was nothing like that. There wasn't too many other options of sports in Chester. As far as you had basketball, you had baseball, you had football.
Yeah, no field hockey.
No, it was.
They used to though.
They had tennis too. They had tennis, but that was really about it. Other than that, I don't remember any other like lacrosse or anything like that. Anything that.
No, I've been pushing for that, but there's only so much. You got first things first, and soccer definitely. So you graduated 2000, but you also went to states in track and field. Jamie Wharton was your coach. You said and. Wow, what an experience out of Shippensburg that must have been.
Well, it's again something that's exciting to be a part of the program because the program was stacked. This is when you had Roosevelt Turner, you had Donis Coles, you had really Derek Freeman. These guys were just like a lot of really good players athletes that were just like beast when you see them on the track or something like that. So for me to even be a part of it, and I just had to find my spot or my niche where I could be of some type of service, and I found that long jump, triple jump, and the distance races was the way to get in because nobody wanted to run distance. Everybody was fast, and I was like I had a little more.
Distance is that's a great workout for you too.
Yeah, conditioning wise and getting yourself together for that it's definitely different.
So Adonis is the last boy to win an individual state championship for Chester back in 96
or 7.
96. You know what? I got to get into the archives here. I just did it the other day. It was I think it was 1996. So we had a girl win it 2009. She won a couple of individual states. And we have a couple of kids this year that have a chance for the boys and girls. Chester with Shake Allen. But yeah, so.
And I was there. He was on our team when I ran track as well. So it's kind of cool now looking at the 360 of the coaches now, coaching staffs. These are people that were coaches. You know, they weren't. Some of them were players. Some of the other coaches were assistant coaches. Now they're head coaches. Even just Keith Taylor. He's not him being the head coach over at Chester High. I just left him over at the Boys and Girls Club. So seeing all these folks, and he was one of the assistant coaches when I was playing when I played basketball.
Are you still playing pickup ball? No. I'm still doing it. 65.
So what I enjoy more than anything else is I enjoy just shooting around. I enjoy shooting the ball around. I'm not so much getting too much of a workout because I'm on my feet and running around a lot nowadays as far as with other sports. So I ain't trying to hurt nothing to be out there.
So there he is, Titus Robinson, and you are also the director, less than a year now, for the Boys and Girls Club.
I'm a director. I'm the director of sports. I'm one of the directors of the sports programs over at Chester.
Director of the sports programs at the Boys and Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Club.
Who is the director?
Yeah, you're going to call it. That's Mr. Coach Craig Coach Craig and then Mr. Billups. They're the main people, the bosses of the sauce. I follow their lead, and I make
the
sure
bosses with the sauce. The late great Jerry Blavitt said that. So yeah, soccer. It's so big in this area. Probably the best program is Strathaven. They won 5 state titles. Wallingford and Mike Barr, and he was a tough coach, and he won 5 state titles. And he didn't let your parents. He did his thing, and he did it the right way. He is now the technical director of Eastern PA Youth Soccer. Okay, Mike Barr. That's a good guy. You might want to send an email to or something like that. So Chester Upland Youth Soccer, and you got Eddystone, which is the kids in Ridley. So how are things progressing?
So let's backtrack for that a little bit. So that progression went from Chester Upland Youth Soccer. That was probably 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I've already progressed from that part of it to now being the head coach for the Chester High School soccer team, both boys and girls teams, along with being the head coach for the for the Philadelphia Union Foundation's Chester FC, which is the whole new soccer team that we just created.
It's unbelievable.
We started off in August. The motivation behind it was because I had my dad passed away right in August, and right when I signed up for the program, it's probably like August 13th or something like that. We had 6 players on the team, and they're doing just regular practices and training and stuff like that. Coach Dante Bell had reached out to me and said, would you be interested? Because he had already heard of me working with the Chester Youth Soccer programs that was already happening.
Right.
And they needed somebody to work with the program, and then more so a face, so to speak, to kind of like push the idea and the identity of what soccer could possibly look like. And I said, who better than me?
You're the head coach.
So I said, well, I'll be the head. So I'm the head coach. So then taking that, I've progressed that into working with the Philadelphia Union Foundation. But in the mix of that, we started with 6 players, and then we went from 6 to 10 to 15, 15 to 20. Now we're probably up to almost near 30 with the boys program, and then now we just started our girls program last week. So our girls program now has probably about 15 young ladies that sign up for the program.
The schedule set? What league are you playing in?
So the cool thing is we have we're doing some friendly scrimmages coming up soon. Right. They're going to be called them friendlies because what we're going to do is have like a soccer Sunday, so to speak.
Soccer is one of the sports, and the PIAA put a press release out. The most suspension fights. It gets pretty intense, man. There are kids getting kicked out of games, high school.
So that goes with coaching right there, and I don't play that with my program.
But the PIAA put it out.
So even when we played in the last season, we did the outdoor season, which was in the fall, and we played 8 matches. We didn't win any of them. No, we tied 1, and all the rest of them we did not win.
So this is in the fall. Yeah, I'm looking up soccer now to get a read. So the first year, 2021, did you have a season?
I wasn't there. They tried to have a season, but because of COVID situation, they didn't have anything. So they had stuff happening, but they couldn't get a legitimate coach. And then on top of that, couldn't get somebody that really.
I thought Spangler was going to be.
I don't know. Yeah. So once I jumped in, I said, you know what? I can't really worry about what anybody else is not doing. I'm going to do what I can to build a program.
All right, so nothing in 2021. No. But I saw you doing some exhibition games. Coatesville, I think. Did you go against Coatesville one time?
So we've been playing out at King of Prussia. We played at King of Prussia at their pitch, the YSC, which is an indoor facility. Right. We went there and we went to our indoor season. We did 8 matches for the first session, and the second session we had 8 matches. The second session we finished up 8-3, and that's so. In the first one we were 0-8, and then the next one we turned around, finally got it together, and got our team together, and got enough continuity to figure out what we were really doing.
And this is in the September, October.
We went from September, October, and then we went to the fall. So the fall went from October to December, and December to January, and so we had 2 different sessions to build the program and get it right. So now we're at a place now where we actually have a legitimate team with with both girls and boys programs. The boys program has about almost 30 kids, and then the girls is about 15.
Who's the girls coach?
I'm the girls coach too.
Wow. Yeah. I don't. That's incredible.
So right now we have, but in the fall, what we'll wind up doing probably is we'll have another female coach to come help with the females because that's what I prefer anyway. But right now my job is to build the program.
When do you play your games? What time of the day?
Right now we have our match is going to be on Sundays. We're going to have a match from 1 to 3 o'clock.
But it's not going to be like a regular schedule.
Not yet, because PIAA rules doesn't allow it yet. They only allow for actual games that are like meaningful games that we can compete in the fall. So they don't have a spring league yet for soccer.
They used to.
Yet.
Back in the day, you used to.
But I
for
say
girls,
that. I say
yeah.
that for yet. I say yet because I think that'd be something that can be conversed about because everybody that I reached out to, as far as the Penwoods, the Academy Park, as far as all the, I reached out to at least 9 different teams within the last week and a half just to see if they would be interested in at least having friendly matches now, and hopefully we'll transition that into the fall to actually having games that we can actually play.
It'd be nice to have. Well, what Del Val teams do have soccer? I would imagine Chichester does, Interborough,
Penwood, Academy Park.
And Chester's the only one.
And so we didn't have no team, but we got one now. So there's no more worries
good.
with it.
So
and it's gonna look it's looking really, really good. Like even the players that we have, it's surprising to me but it's not surprising because we're in Chester. And Chester has athletes.
Oh yeah,
all day, every day.
Yeah.
And just because you didn't know they played soccer or they made a try to somewhere else at some point in time doesn't mean that they can't necessarily do it now. And so that's been the cool part because we getting these guys that are 6'5". 250, looking like they want to play basketball, but no, they're coming to play goalie. They're coming to play striker. They're coming to play different positions, and they're really willing to try to learn. These kids come to practice every day. We have practice. They don't miss. They don't come on. They're not late. If we had matches, they were never late to matches. They're very well disciplined, and I would argue that they're. The better part is that they're very, very smart kids too. Right. They're not just like some kids that just don't have a brain that can think. They're going to be assets to the community regardless of if they play soccer or going to be a doctor. They'll be able to do much more than just be a regular soccer player. So I've been able to kind of harbor that kind of conversation because, every kid can be coached. It's a matter of how the coach coaches, though, I think, more than anything else.
So you, Titus Robinson here, and the head coach of the Chester soccer boys and girls high school, not PIAA yet, but you could still get some games in next year with the Academy Parks.
Well, we're going to play against them in the fall. We'll play against all of them in the fall. We'll have 8 matches again. We'll play 2 of them, one home, one away for next season.
Can you win a Del Val championship?
Yeah, I think we will.
Oh, so you are PIAA next year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, so I'm pretty like it's not trying to be too big headed or anything like that, but I saw what we went through last season, and I saw what we did, and how we progressively gotten better within the course of a year, and we haven't even got a year yet. So
where you play your games?
STEM Academy. The field is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Do they have stands?
No stands yet.
Because I saw some highlights. I think CMP covered you, and he's over there.
So we're that's the next thing we're trying to do is I think that we might have stands. I think by the fall we probably will have stands.
What we should have, and I've been pushing it for years, turf we need a turf at the complex at the A field. Oh my goodness gracious!
So the pitch that they're building, that's the new $55 million pitch. That
we're supposed to get something down the road.
We're going to be down there. Our team will be down there practicing down there too, because we have the Philadelphia. Because I'm with the Philadelphia Union Foundation as well. So the team that we have will be able to utilize that field. So a lot of people are getting frustrated about the building of the complex, and then our kids won't be able to go there. But yes, our kids will be probably the first ones on that pitch, actually playing on that field, learning more and more about soccer and building the program from there. So, of course, they're going to bring people from outside the city to come there too, but then that brings competition for our team to play against as well.
Yeah.
So there's a caveat that you have to look at is the fact that, all right, we got basketball on lock. We got football pretty much on lock right now. What's the next thing we can get on lock? I'm pretty sure that with the right leadership and with the right kind of fun, like this past Sunday we had a friendly practice that we had, and we brought the music outside and put the barbecue outside and let the kids just enjoy themselves in a nice, beautiful day of soccer. So that's the plan for Sundays, is that we're going to have almost every Sunday have boys and girls matches. Little kids can come play. We also have a program where we're working first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. And we're going to have same way, kind of like what you see with Biddy. And
Chester Biddy. I was talking with the baseball guys, Coach Waters and Jamal last week, about the feeder program. That's been the problem. Chester has a good one. Chester High Baseball getting that feeder program.
That was one of the things that frustrated me when I got to Chester, is that when I played baseball all through elementary school. I got to Chester in 6th grade. Right. No baseball until I got to 9th grade.
There's a Jackie Robinson though, right?
So that's there now. Yeah, that's there now. Yeah,
but it ends at a certain age.
Right. And then you're stuck. Then those kids can't play any baseball. So
it's unbelievable, Titus. This is great. I'm learning on the fly here too. I've been reading some stuff about you. Because I'm covering a million sports, and I do follow soccer, obviously.
Yeah, so that was the thing that like I said, I only started coaching because my dad had mentioned to me like you should play soccer. And then when I was still in college, and I was like, well, there's nowhere for me to play. He said, well, you can go play for the Union. I said, Dad, I'm not that good.
Where'd you go to college?
Cheney University.
Okay, 4 years.
Yep.
And you played?
I ran track.
You ran track.
I got a scholarship from Chester High to go run track at Chain.
Nice, man. That's unbelievable, Titus.
So I kept myself busy. I kept myself fairly.
Where'd you get the name from, Titus? It's a very it's
my
cool.
dad named it. My dad named me Titus Aurelius Robinson. So
what was his?
My dad was a preacher, Reverend Irvin Robinson.
Irvin,
yeah.
Robinson.
He, like I said, he recently passed away in August once I started coaching. So that really pushed me, like really kind of like pushed the gas. And like,
did he play sports?
No sports. My dad was not into sports at all.
Okay. Did he grow up in?
He grew up in Woodland, PA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He would have gone to Ridley.
So he was so that's where he went to school at, but he was not interested in anything. My dad was a Marine. He went to Marines, was a graduate, and then took care of all that business.
So what kind of help are you getting, and how's that coming along? And have you talked to coaches, some other, like the Strathaven head coach, and guys that have been around, quite some time?
So I haven't really been exposed to much of that yet. But I've been very open to any type of conversation to have with anybody. But more than anything else, what I had to do was learn the nuances of what soccer really looks like. I didn't play soccer.
Right.
I never played soccer. I coached 7th, 8th grade football over at Smedley for 3 years. And the years I coached there, I lost one game in those 3 years, and we went undefeated other seasons.
Are the kids still playing?
Now these kids are grown-ups now. They're adults.
Oh, what year was it?
This has had to be like 2008 to 2010.
Oh, yeah.
So I was coaching football. So now a lot of them kids see me now. They still call me coach and stuff like that. But when I started coaching, when I did that, I made football fun. I never coached football before. So this is similar. I'm coaching football with soccer.
And it's funny because overseas they say football.
Football, yeah. So,
but yeah, it's
that's why I say. So our other program is Chester FC Football Club.
Yeah, but these the Philadelphia Union players can show you have a direct path to show these guys, your kids, how to do it.
So the good thing is that they have other academies and they have other things that help these young people actually become more involved. So even if you have the programs that they have that's lined up now, some of my players, which I think got about 2 or 3 of them that could possibly get on that Union team in a couple of years. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I know like 2 of my seniors, Jonathan and Damian. These guys are phenomenal soccer players. They have all the skills and all the things that you need to take it to the next level. I always tell them you got to keep the brain right. They got to make sure they're
you got to get the grades.
Right.
You got to get the grades.
But you also have to keep your mindset right for the amount of work that you have to put in because it's not you can't just jump on a soccer field and think you know how to play soccer, especially on a professional level anyway. So
I'm going down the boys soccer now, looking at the District 1 website. And let's see what we have here. If they do a really good job, District 1. And for some reason, it is not letting me, find what I want here. It's kind of frustrating. But over the years, rankings and schedules, there you go. And the 2023 season is not showing up, but let's look at last year, okay? All right. So last year, like Lower Merion, I think they went to the state final. Established program. You have 2 classes in soccer. We have no, we don't. We have 4A, the big schools, 3A, 2A, and 1A. Now let's look through. I don't know. Chester eventually would. Well, you guys in 2022 last year, Titus, they have you as 0-4. So you're in there.
At least we're in there.
Yeah, you're in there. And let's see if it has the scores of your games. So you were coaching last year. You only lost to Penwood 2-1, it says.
Mm-hmm. That was one of our closer games.
Academy Park 11-0. You lost. Chichester 12-1, and then Penwood 9-9. Right. But at least you played.
Right. And that was the most, because getting the numbers, because like I said, when I started, we had 6 players. The day I started on coaching. Yeah. So then I was tasked to try to find players that wanted to play. So what I did was, and now mind you, our team is filled with kids from Ecuador, Nicaragua, Africa, Chester.
And they're all Chester High kids. You have a co-op with the Chester Charter, too.
Yeah, right. So all of our kids are from everywhere. Like I'm talking about, they moved to Chester maybe 2-3 years ago, something like that. So now they're all part of the program. And that's the part that even the language barrier was a big thing for me. So I was getting players that could help me with communicating with other players. Yeah. And even one of my top players doesn't speak a lick of English, but we learned how to communicate from what we're doing, and now it works out because even some of my other players, my younger players that speak Spanish, hey, tell them I said blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then there we go, and then we're good.
Are any of the basketball players playing soccer for you? The guys, because Chester has in boys basketball.
No,
Chester,
I think the basketball some of them that play basketball, but
play football.
none of them from some of the football players, like the kicker for the high school.
Neidick.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Damien.
That's the guy. He's the one I was just talking about.
Okay, is he coming? Is he? What grade is he?
He's a senior.
Oh, he is
It's
graduate.
unfortunate.
Left-handed.
Yeah.
No, left-handed.
No, left foot. No, but
I said that. I think I said that on a televised. And now coming in is Damien Neidick, and he kicks it with his left. He kicks it with his left hand. Everybody was laughing at me for it. But yeah, left-footed kicker.
But see,
number 45.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Damien Neidick.
But see, the thing about him is he's right-handed. He just knows how to kick really good with both the right and left foot.
He's going to college?
Player. I believe so. So that's my hope. So that's the whole thing. So that the initiative I'm working on now is that we have a partnership with Widener as well. So
yeah, you're right there.
So if I can come up with a way to funnel that conversation, which I don't think should be too difficult because you got the grades. The next thing to do is get them in there, and then now we have a filtration system for the kids to actually join another legitimate soccer program right here at home.
So I like to look at and there's established programs like Coatesville. They only this is last year 3-14, Upper Darby 4-14.
Yeah, so the door is wide open for us.
Yeah, you have Harry S. Truman 0-17, and then you get Strathaven 8-8. They're really good. They were 8-1. It's so tough.
That's for me. That for me as the coach, it gives me much more motivation knowing that the programs are not. They're decent, but they don't intimidate none of us.
But Academy Park last year won boys soccer 8-6-1.
And they weren't that good to us. Like when we played them, they were just I would say average. If anything else, we were just a sorry team, and we couldn't get our continuity. We couldn't get together because we were just getting started. We just literally just got started.
They had Academy Park lost only to Marple Newtown 3-2. The facilities they have Springfield Delco. They only beat Academy Park 3-2. So they were not bad. I mean, they were not bad. So, and then you get to the 3A. You got Radnor, Phoenixville, 16-1. I was just looking. Chichester 6-9-2. So Interboro 0-16. So hopefully. Well, I couldn't check the what's going on this year.
That gets me more motivated.
So you're looking in. Where are we right now? We're in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
No wonder I didn't see 2023. I'm thinking my mind had it. I'm looking at this past fall. So this is past fall. You played. You had 4 matches. So anyway, next year even more, and it's going to be great. So if a kid wants to be part of the program, how do they get in touch with you?
Please. If you're on social media, then just go ahead and inbox me. There's been a lot of people reaching out to me anyway. If you're interested in wanting to play soccer, I have soccer's on Wednesdays and Thursdays during the week. 3 to 5 o'clock on Wednesdays for boys. For the girls, it's 4 to 5 on Thursdays. We're there right at the STEM Academy, right outside on the beautiful pitch. The grass is absolutely marvelous. They put a lot of money into in the grass by itself, so it's not just like, all right, we're going to be out there just kind of getting it together. No, we have everything that needs to look like a soccer field. We have the lines out there. It's just a really, really, really nice space to be able to play soccer at and learn the skills. We have other coaches that come out too. A good friend of mine, Coach Robbie, he's not from Chester. He's from Scotland. He's got a cool accent.
It's cool.
So he's out there, helps with skills and drills. What we usually try to do is make sure you guys have snacks out there too. So it's not just having you out there just to come out and just run around and get yourself tired, but it's also trying to give you some, some life skills. Get around, be around some people, be around friends. Get outside and get yourself active. There's no reason why, you can't come out there and try to learn. If you never played it before in your life, just think about playing kickball. One of the main things I started when I was coaching, the first thing I said I'm going to teach is that I'm going to teach y'all how to run and just kick the ball. All right? We're going to just learn to run and kick the ball. After we figure that part out, we'll get the dribbling parts out. We'll get the passing parts out. We'll get all the other things that goes with it. But the main thing is to teach you guys. It's like playing kickball, the old game where you roll and kick it. But now you have to kick it with some type of purpose. You have to have placement on the ball with your foot. What side of the ball you're using to kick the ball. It's just a lot that goes with it. But it's also it's very popular online. So a lot of these young people that I'm knowing, they know about the big names, the Ronaldis and stuff like that. So they'll go there and they'll go online and keep on doing the Jew and all this stuff, and they try to make it fun for them to learn more about the game. But like even my son, I didn't never think he was going to play. He's 10 years old and he's practicing every day just because he saw his dad coaching at one point.
Nice. So are you dealing with, you said Nether United Soccer Club?
We haven't dealt with them yet. No,
so that's over Wallingford, And
but that's the whole thing. So our program we have now, because we can't play in the PIAA right now because of rules. So what we're doing is just having, like I said, friendly matches or scrimmages, and we're reaching out to everybody. Anybody that has a team, we invite you to come on out. We're gonna have friendly matches, and then we'll actually feed them when they come to the match. So we'll give them some type of, something. It's
unbelievable.
And just make it more of a comfortable thing that they can come to our field and then and learn and then just have somebody to play against. And eventually you make friends, you make more competitions, you make more conversations, and just go from there. I think it's exciting to see where it's going at right now.
You got your boys and girls schedule for next year?
We don't have it in place just yet,
Right.
no,
Okay.
so we're still waiting on that.
Boys, girls. Let's start with the girls first. Do you have a lot of? This is the first official year they're going to have a game. How many girls? You said.
So what I did, again, so when you're doing your recruiting and going through the recruiting process, some things you got to do that's unorthodox that people don't normally do.
Recruiting as in
going to get the students, go find them.
recruit from your own school,
So
not the other recruit.
I went. So I've already been to STEM Academy already. I went to their lunch periods and it's literally sat a table there. Had some flyers and did a sign up. I said, "Are you interested in soccer?" Sold it to them as far as just telling them, "Hey, if you can actually be a part of this if you'd like to." It's from Chester, and we're right there, sat in their lunch periods, and they're coming to us. Some of the players that are on the team, they walk up, help me with recruiting. We brought a box of like little things of like snacks or something like that, so they can have a little treat while they're there. And then we went to the next school. My next step is actually go to Chester High. I'm gonna go to their gym, their lunch periods, and that's gonna give my number. I already have a list of probably about 30. Young ladies I already reached out to. Only about 15 showed up. I'm assuming by this Wednesday we'll probably have a lot more. So.
And on a soccer field, it's 11. It is 11. Okay.
When we did our indoor season, we were 7, so we had to do 7v7s, and that was very interesting because it's on an indoor facility. So same way we played there, we played out in King of Prussia at the YSC Academy.
That's nice.
So we went there for every Sunday. It was every Saturday, and then we transitioned every Sunday for turf matches. So now we'll go down to the pitch down there at the waterfront, and they're going to have an indoor facility.
Too bad you can't play at the Union Field. You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be unbelievable?
But see, that's the conversation that could be had still too.
Yeah.
If we're doing a championship, we make it to the States, or if we do that well.
Yeah.
Why not?
Down the road.
I don't see why that should not be not attainable. And then you got FIFA coming here in 2026, FIFA the World Cup.
Oh, yeah, they'll be
in Philly the 2026. So you can't
not here.
They're going to be in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia.
What state are they staying?
They'll be playing in
Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah.
Or where the Eagles play.
Where the Eagles play.
Oh, okay, the link.
So they'll be at the link, and then I would imagine they'll be down here too.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't see why if they
the newspapers are giving you good publicity.
Nobody's even heard about what I've been doing yet.
But Delco Times, I've seen some articles. Stefan Roots
is one. He was the one that actually got me started even thinking about soccer.
Well, he's old head like me because the Burman, our family goes back many years with Stefan.
Mr.
In the
Roots,
70s.
he reached out to me. 2.5 years ago when I first started with Chester Upland Youth Soccer, and he said, "Would you be interested in even helping with the program, maybe coaching?" And I said, "Well, I never really did soccer, but I said, why not?" And I reached out to that, did a lot of trainings, did a lot of just learning about the game, and then after that, it just progressively everything's been progressing, and I think that partly goes with just the idea of knowing how to coach, know how to reach people, know how to teach people.
It's a physical game, though, and the kids see
that's
that.
The cool part about that.
Yeah,
that's the cool part.
Yeah, and I don't know what consists of a penalty, though. I mean, I can see when there's some dirty stuff.
When you're doing stuff egregious, they usually the refs see it. But a lot of soccer is one of the games that, it's physical. It's very physical, and it's different because the way you can be physical is not the same way as if you were being physical in basketball, boxing out somebody, something like that.
Right.
You're really pushing into somebody.
You are
trying to make.
Well, and also lacrosse is insane.
Yeah. They're very similar. They're very similar. Right.
Hammering each other, and I'm like, and they don't get fouls called against them or penalties, as you would say.
One of the things I found to be interesting that I had to see when I was actually coaching, I was like, man, when did they actually do subs? Because I don't never see anybody get subs.
That's interesting.
Because you're able to do it, but they usually keep the group that they have on the pitch or field, so to speak, until it really gets real, somebody gets hurt or something like that. But
talking soccer here with Titus Robinson, the officials. How many officials in a high school game?
We usually had just two,
and they can handle it.
Yeah. Okay. And again, like I said, I got and it goes, when it comes to coaching and stuff like that, having your team disciplined enough to know what to do and what not to do, how to conduct themselves when they're on the field, how to conduct themselves when they leave the field, how to be respectful to the game, to the people.
One of those.
Yeah, or not only that, but just for me, it's like, all right, on our program that it's not tolerated, because at the end of the day, it goes to a conversation of, all right, well, just like work, some people you can be replaced. And that's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, we have to keep a standard that we're looking for.
What about do kids get, when they're playing against better competition, kids that have played soccer longer, do they get up? Do they get frustrated? Do they if they see kids so good, or are they just marvel, or they can learn from the competition?
That was what we did with our program, like in particular, because even the way I coach is like I delegate work. So some of the people I know that are better, I ask them to pull somebody to the side and help them with this certain thing or that thing. Whether it's just a drop kick of the ball, whether it's dribbling, whether it's passing, the whole thing that we always made sure we made a strong point of is the team. It's a team. There's not no one individual person that's going to make this team work. And in soccer in particular, it's one of the most team sports that you have to really, everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to push up the field together. Everybody has to know their position and their spots and where they have to be at. And just because of that, it's like, we don't try to let the kids, even when we have some of the guys on our team that are not soccer at all, never played soccer at all, but they want to learn. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it's important for us to make sure that we allow them to try to teach them, reach them, and make sure they're actually having fun more than anything else, because that's one of the most important parts is having fun. This is actually a game. I want you to keep that clear. This is a game. This is not nothing serious. You're not going to win a medal right now, probably until the end of it, maybe. But you're not going to. It's a game. Let's remember this is a game.
Any seniors going to be playing for you next year? Or is it all going to be underclassmen?
So a lot of the players we have, because we probably only have maybe 2 or 3 that's going to leave. Everybody else is coming back, so we have a good retention. We're retaining a lot of the players to come right back, and that's the most exciting part. That's why I'm like, all right, well, our program's going to probably. We'll compete against any of these teams in the Del Val next season, and I'm like that. I think that if anything else, not trying to push the gas or to get too overthink it, but I'm thinking it. I'm thinking what we.
Who's your goalie? Right now
we have Ronnie and big Ronnie. Ronnie's has to be 6'4", 250, 260.
Quick, got to be quick.
So he's not. So he's like a sandbag. So he's waiting.
Well, look at some of these goalies in ice hockey now.
But we have
they're like walruses in the net. It's hard to score in these NHL guys compared to the way it was.
Special training, and him and I got another guy named Jalen, and both of those guys are coming back next season too. So all we're doing now is working with their skills right now.
I announce a lot of basketball, and some of the best basketball players also are really good soccer players. The footwork is
Joel Embiid.
There,
So it's
a big sport over there.
Yeah,
I grew up watching soccer made in Germany. It was called. I loved it. This is late '60s, '70s, and the crowds are insane, and just like the Union over here. What's the group of guys?
Sons of Ben. I'm a member of them too.
My wife and I went to a game a few years ago, and you could hear them going nuts.
Yeah, they have their own specific group section on the field or the pitch, so to speak, and it's awesome because they're just sitting there with the drums, banging the drum, and I'm like, this would be so cool.
That's it.
At Chester High games too. I'm like, why should we have a whole thing, a club that's just for basketball, for football, and we're just right in the bleachers, and we have our own section right there, and we make the noise that we want to make, just let y'all know that we're here and we're here.
Sons of Ben.
And
they call
themselves SOBs.
They really, really go after the opposing team.
Yeah, but that's what you want. You really want that. That's kind of support. They have their own. They do a tailgate. So I just became a member of the Sons of Ben just so I can go and get more culture with the soccer thing.
Nice.
And they're just like they're just another group of people that just really like soccer.
Man, because. Kind of like if you remember the Glen Mills boys the student section at Glen Mills. Oh man,
I went to those,
and they were well behaved though. Yes, but they were crazy, but they had their bodyguards there, and they were telling them, you remember?
I went to those basketball games and the football games, but more so the basketball.
They would hush
them
in
the gym and stuff like that. It was just. it was amazing to see how unified it was as a unit.
Very unified.
Very unified
Amazing.
as a unit.
And I saw some stuff from the those Chester Glen Mills games. You were too young.
I remember some of the so back in the 96, 97, something like that. They were still
there were some great
them.
games. Benny Stewart's team, 98, but back 80, when Chester won the state in 89 and then 91, and when they were state, we lost to them 4 times that year. The crowds were, it was a lot of the games were at Cheney, and they had their whole side. The whole side, and then they had their, I call them bodyguards, but they're advisors or
right, or teachers or teacher.
And they're crazy too.
Right.
Because they're at the game and they're egging the guys on. And I have video of it.
Right.
I have video of the Ridley District playoff game. What year was that again? That was a Ridley in 89 against Glen Mills at Cheney. And it was insane. It was crazy. But anyway, that's what the Sons of Ben are like. And hopefully someday we can get that here at Chester High.
I think that it's not an unattainable goal. Again, like even if I tell our players, hey, we're going to go to support, because I always like the idea of supporting. Each team supports one another.
Yes,
because that helps a lot with just keeping the program the way it needs to be, but it also helps build the program so everybody knows they're a part of it. Whether you're a fan or you're just a player, you can be a part of what's happening, and then you can actually enjoy that. That was one of the things I liked. I always had enough pride in knowing that I could be a part of this. And if I'm not on a basketball team, so to speak, I could be a heck of a fan in the bleachers cheering on anytime they had the games. And that's exactly what I did. I would be loud, very, very loud at Chester High basketball games in 1999, 2000.
We need that back. It's just the key is, and can you imagine if you have a kid who's really, really good, and then all of a sudden, you got the private schools, you just never know, but that you want to try to keep your kids, as many of them at your school, the hometown team.
It's a double-edged sword because there's a number of different variables that go into factor with that too. Because you got to remember, like if this school has much more things to offer rather than what maybe the likes of what our schools may have to offer, then you're gonna have to your family's gonna have to evaluate that situation and ask yourself, what's the best situation for my son, and regardless if he does basketball or not. Because what happens if the basketball thing don't work out? That transitional thing has to work out because at the end of the day, there's. Like you can ask yourself the question about what kind of jobs are going to be offered to our players here in Chester after they graduate, and will they have work to be in Chester to continue, or they have to go somewhere else to go to work? Think about that same variation. They got to go to different cities to go get a job. So if you have to go to different cities to go play basketball, it's only because of the fact that option and opportunity was much more lucrative, so to speak, than what it would look like in the likes of somebody like Chester. But of course, you want to keep them here, of course. But we won't be able to keep them all. But as long as we keep a core group of people that really just find the pride in it, and then find kids that are coachable. Like that's the whole thing too. And I find them all the time over at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah. Oh.
We do enough. We have basketball tournaments over there. We do things that make sure we can find out the best quality in these guys, and then we coach them up so that way when they go back to their schools or wherever they're at, they can actually still be pretty good at that too. So we offer soccer at the Boys and Girls Club. We offer basketball. We offer baseball. We offer kickball. We offer a number of different things. Even scuba diving is even offered over there.
So you work with Ryan, the athletic director from Chester Charter. Ryan Fisher.
Yes. Yep.
Fish. He's an awesome. And then
we had a great conversation the other day.
He's from Bucks County originally. He went to Central Bucks, so I think Central Bucks West High School. So they great.
We got
soccer.
Our soccer program got to see their basketball program practicing, right? And when we got to see that, we saw how hard they was working, stuff like that. And then we're coming behind
Chester
them.
Charter.
And so we was good because we practiced when we were doing the fall season and the indoor season. We were practicing down there inside the gym.
Right.
So we would go see them practicing. And the amount of work they were doing when they were putting in the work just to try to get better gave me motivation itself. So I had to tell him. I told Mr. Fish, I was like, yeah, Mr. Fish, I think you guys are doing awesome. We're proud of you. And he said, well, one of the things you got about you guys is that, my volleyball program it stunk the first 2 years.
Ryan,
yeah. And then now they're beating everybody in Del Val.
Yeah.
I said, well, guess what? I said, there's motivation for me just in itself and knowing that our program can do the same exact thing if we're just doing things the right way.
And the basketball program at Chester Charter from the ground up also. Now,
right.
They don't need as many kids, obviously, as Chester High does to compete at the 6A compared to Chester Charter single A. But still, an amazing job Coach the late, great Donnie Dodds did before. Then Dan Spangler's been there, 4 years now. Went to the state quarters this year. Went to state quarters 3 years ago. So, yeah, they're doing very well. And there's enough kids in this town to support both programs.
Absolutely. And that's the cool part because, when I played in middle school, there was 2 teams, Chester East and Chester West.
Mm-hmm.
You had Smedley, Main Street, and then there was Showalter and Pulaski that played against each other. And then I remember we had the championship at Chester High School, and that's in the 8th grade. And we were like, oh, we get to go to Chester High, play against the West Side again, see if we're going to win. And that year, that was when Jameer Nelson played, and we actually won that.
So you're some of your idols when you were in 6th, 7th grade, Johnny Linehan, Ray Carroll.
Yes. They're my friends on Facebook now.
Yeah,
so
Ray and the Maltsby.
these guys are all amazing people that
Jamar Solo Shaw.
all those guys. So when I see them on my feed, sometimes I'm just like in awe of them still because I know like I'm a fan too. I'm more of a fan than anything else. So I like to see how like their progressions and what they're doing with their careers, how well they are able to articulate certain things that they're doing now, and I just think that it's really neat to see some of the legends that were, and then now I have to try to figure out how I'm gonna like put my little niche in how I can become a legend in Chester and just try to help out the community as well. Because more than anything else, I don't care nothing about being a legend, but I care about helping people. And I care about
it's great.
young people.
It's awesome,
That's
man. I'm glad
most rewarding part about it is being able to help people that maybe not been able to help before. Reach these young people in a way where they're seeing, like promising leaders be able to do something different rather than always trying to just take. But it's more about giving too.
And it's a great job, Jean-Pierre here at CMP Radio.
He's
and
another person I'm very extremely proud of. Like there's not much words I can say that.
Jean-Pierre, you have a little French in you, obviously. Did you play soccer a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, my father.
See?
Oh, you're
Yes,
my father was Haitian. He played soccer when we used to live down at the Benjamin Banneker, so right by Memorial Park. All the other kids be playing basketball, and he would have me playing soccer and golfing.
Golf,
one of his favorites. Golfing, soccer, playing the guitar, and painting.
Nice. Doesn't he have a good voice? Isn't he? He's very
he does.
calm.
Yeah, he does have a
calm,
nice
cool,
voice.
collected.
He has a nice voice.
And does it great. Thank you. You're soothing. You're very soothing.
I try to be.
I mean, you're street smart, to say the least. There's no doubt about that. And so we have to, you got to be street smart and things. So Titus, what do you got planned before we get out of here? What do you got planned for the kids in the spring?
Okay, so like I said,
and the summer.
So the program I'm running right now that we do with the Chester FC is basically we're gonna run all the rest of the year. At least right now we have a 7-week program right now, so we're gonna start. We already started last week, so I got 6 more weeks of just soccer every Wednesday and Thursday at STEM Academy. We'll have the boys program that's gonna be on Wednesdays. From 3 to 5, and then the girls program will be from 4 to 5. And then because the girls program is still getting started, but the boys program is pretty much fully established. So the job now is to make sure that we're giving them the proper training, get them prepared for the fall season when we actually walk into that. Because when we walk into that, we're not walking in like backwards like we did. Like we didn't walk in backwards before, but now I have a tremendous opportunity to really lead an awesome program.
Uniforms look great too.
Uniforms are awesome.
Anybody you want to give a shout there too?
For our uniforms or just
the balls, the uniforms.
Well, I mean, I'm very thankful for everybody that's involved with the program that we've already been started. I'm on Zoom calls every Thursday with all the people that's the important people, I guess you would call, that's in Chester that have anything to do with soccer or anything with the Philadelphia Union or the school district. So I have between the athletic director, Coach Bell, Dr. Parkinson, who's the superintendent. I'm in the calls with all these folks, Paul Howard. There's enough people on these calls now that make it make sense as far as what we're going to do moving forward. And me being the person that's kind of like spearheading most of the stuff that's happening now, it's more one of the things that I'm excited because, again, being able to be at certain spaces, I can create and help build a program. So even with, if you think about being at the Boys and Girls Club, guess where I can recruit kids at? The Boys and Girls Club.
There you go.
So if I can see basketball players that are decent, I'm like, hey, man, you ever think about playing soccer? And then I'll see that they played soccer somewhere at some point in time. Mm-hmm. So then I invite them out to practice, and they show up, and then they see that our core group of people that are pretty good already. But not only that, they're good character people. And that's what I think that's the most important part of building a program is having good character people to help build a program because then other people will join that because they know that there's pretty decent people that have a good mindset that want to be a part of it. So it makes it easy for me to coach it because at the end of the day, I know that these people are coachable. So then if I see you at the Boys and Girls Club and I'm seeing you trying to coach you on a basketball thing and I'm seeing you flipping out or you're acting out or something like that, I'm like, I don't know if I could work with you, but we're going to have some conversations first.
Anger management. I've been through that before.
I learned, one of the things I learned in one of my training was the Q-tip. Q-tip. Quit taking it personal. quit taking it personal. Especially when you deal with soccer and in that particular part, it's not personal. You're playing a game. It's not personal. We're supposed to be having fun while we're doing this. We're not taking this. You're not going to leave practice mad at somebody because of something that happened 15 minutes ago. It already happened 15 minutes ago. It's over. Move on, and let's continue to grow with our program. Because if not, that toxicity can be really, really bad for a program when you have people that don't really want to be a part of this same thing we're all working together to try to achieve, which is wins, a team, and just have something function in Chester. And I just happen to start doing it now. And now it's starting to look more fun now than anything else because nobody was doing it beforehand. And once you see it on TV, once you see other people enjoying it, now I'm like, all right, well, I can make this fun for other people too. Right. Like that's why I bring on our Sundays, I invite everybody to come out to STEM Field, come out there, and we're gonna have soccer Sundays. But what we do is gonna have food out there. I'm gonna have some of the other some of my other family members that come out there with some of their food and dishes that they make. So it might be an Ecuadorian meal, it might be a Nicaraguan meal, it might be an African dish. All of them going to be out there, and we'll make it a day. Right. And they can come out with the little babies up to the big, up to 18-year-olds. Even adults, we're going to try to do an adult league as well. So having an adult league will allow for us adults to
don't look at me
to play some soccer. You be like, hey,
my knees ain't no good.
I would try. You know,
I'm playing. You'd be surprised how much fun you would have once you get out there. You're like, I didn't even think it.
I never knew how much fun playing soccer was until I played it with my father, and I went with him to Jersey City, and played, and it was a lot of fun, right? And that's where my love for football came from. You know what I mean? And like I said, my dad died 31 years ago today. You know what I mean? And it's my mom's birthday, so it's like it's a double whammy for her, right? So I know what you're going through, right? And I just want to say thank you, number one, for loving something enough to share it with the kids, right? And that's the problem in our community. We don't have enough people loving something enough to share it with the next generation and hoping that they catch on and they want to do it. So I have to thank you, Coach Titus.
I appreciate it.
You feel me? Because, me and you've had conversations over the last 4 or 5 years, right, about you finding what you love to share. You're a DJ. You love DJing. You try to share it, right? So everything that you love and you take dear, you try to share it with the children of Chester. And I'm so proud that this football, soccer, right, is catching on, and I wanted to continue to catch on because there are a couple young men that I noticed that are pretty good at it, and they love to play it, and they don't have a problem with playing it. So whatever you need from me, you got me.
Right. Well, one of the things I had to say too is that we sometimes I had to find a love in soccer that I had when losing loved ones. I lost 3 really, really important people in my life in the last 7 months, and then this is the same time I started coaching. I lost my mom, my dad, and my oldest brother who taught me how to DJ. And in doing that, I said, well, one of the things I learned that a lot of our folks don't do is, again, sometimes we take things so personal that we can't do anything, that we can't function. We feel like we can't function, but you actually can. And if you can allocate some of that time into being out in nature, being out in the air, getting and seeing all this stuff that's coming in. When you go out there, you see the birds flying, stuff like that. And you get those memories of what somebody else might have liked, and then you know for sure that they're proud of what you're doing right now, whether they can see it or whether you think they can see it or not. But you commit yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I at least try my best at this. And if I succeed at it or not, at least I did my best. Because at the end of the day, we didn't have a winning season. But at the end of the day, we did have a winning season because we were able to start something, and not just necessarily start, but create something that's going to become more fun than what it necessarily would have been had I not done it. Because there could have been somebody else that did it. There could have been another coach that had probably a little more experience. I know a couple guys that I can mention that are experienced soccer folks that had the jobs, but they didn't have the time. And so I was blessed with the time to be able to allocate to it. And because of that, it helped me to say, all right, well, now I'm kind of like the face of soccer a little bit in Chester. But I just kind of, I don't look at myself as the face. I just look at myself as somebody that's doing something that needed to be done.
It's awesome, man.
I put my book bag on and I roll out and just say, let's go.
Just like everybody else.
And then once it's done, it's done. But at the end of the day, I seen the growth and opportunity in it. And then I just said, you know what? There's no reason why I shouldn't do it. Like I said, why not? And it's fun. All the kids I deal with are really, really great people to deal with and talk to. And then it gives me an opportunity to be a mentor again, which I always like to mentor as well. So I do that with the Amachi program, doing the mentor work over at the Boys and Girls Club, and I mentor these kids in the soccer program. And this is like my jobs right now. So instead of me having to pick jobs that we hate, that we don't like to do, that's just dreadfully, like it doesn't have no excitement to it or nothing like that. I'm able to allocate time into something that I think that's not only it's productive and it makes me feel good, but also I don't have to stress of the things that everybody else would have to deal with. Even when I have to deal with the stresses of my own personal things. Right. Those things are personal, but at the end of the day, I have time to reflect on those at the end of the night and say, Lisa, look what I did today to help all these folks. And if I was mad or sad about something, that's a personal thing, but I'm not so sad because I did something right today.
Great speaker, yeah. So you do some disc jockey work too.
Yeah. I do a nice little bit of a lot of different stuff. But I try to keep myself as active as possible. But these are therapies. Again, DJing is nothing but a therapy. I'm still really, really good at that.
Where do you DJ?
It depends on the weekend.
You go to
so I travel. It's restaurants, bars, but weddings, you name it. I've done like I've pretty much
kind of like a Yes God a little bit.
Not necessarily. Yes God, he got his niche with his cameras. He can do all that. I don't do no photography.
But there's so many guys that are doing great things in this town. Absolutely. So many. Yes, God, CMP.
Yes, God's getting. He's going to. We're having a gala at the Boys and Girls Club this weekend, and he's getting an award for his.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So I'll be there working at this weekend just to make sure that I'm help in working capacity. But again, I enjoy seeing the greatness that we have in Chester. I enjoy being a part of the greatness too. But I also know that there's always work to be done. With Pierre here, it's always work that he needs to get done. And I always say to myself like I always want to put myself into what he's got going on. But then I'm like, all right, so how does that lane look, and what can I really do? Because I mean, at the end of the day, I seen that he needed help with photography. I can do a little photography. Right. I seen he needed help with videography. I can do a little videography, and if anything else, I can learn because I don't have no problem in learning. If you got to get drones and you need somebody to help with the drone, I will be out there. I just want to be involved in stuff that I know can help cultivate the city to become better.
Yeah. Oh, and the coaches are. We had them with the baseball guys, and then we used to have wrestling at Chester back in the day. I'm talking about, but of course the basketball coach Taylor, Coach Spangler at Chester Charter, and we can go on and on and on.
I'm just proud that I'm even a part of this conversation to be one of the coaches, and I'm sitting in CMP Radio now, the voice of Chester, talking about soccer, and I've gotten a chance to get you to invite me, and I really do appreciate that too, Mr.
Well, yeah, we connected.
You do a lot. You do a lot of work, and I see the work that you do, and I'm like, well, a lot of people was telling me you need to go. You have to say something about the program, Titus. You've been doing this now. Yeah. Nobody really knows about it yet. So I said, well, whatever. When I reached out to you, you were very receptive. Told me exactly what time, date, blah blah blah. Yeah. And I left this Boys and Girls Club, came straight here.
The hardest part is telling everybody exactly where it is, but 5th Street across the side of the historic post office here in Chester. Titus, thank you very much, and hopefully we can do it again down the road, maybe closer to the season. I don't want the summer to go that fast, but
I'd love to. Just let me know when, and I'll be here.
All right, awesome. Appreciate it, my man. Yes, Titus Robinson. Unbelievable. Special guest on CMPRadio.net and Delco Sports 360. I'm Dave Burman. Thank you, Jean-Pierre, and we'll see you down the road.
All right.